Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. Boy's back at it again. You know what I'm saying? We are here talking Jets. We got a lot to discuss. New York Jets coaching staff release is coming off of the Reese's Senior Bowl, so we're going to discuss a lot about that. A lot of talking about how well the New York Jets staff did, and it's a lot to be discussed about, you know, some of the interactions that they had with players that, you know, could end up on the New York Jets. There's a lot to talk about the impact, you know, the Senior Bowl and some of those players could have on the Jets roster, you know, and on the decisions that the New York Jets can make in the draft. We're also going to be discussing the running back situation. We're going to be discussing Braxton Darius as well. Salutes to all the savages in the chat as well, showing in all my guys in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the show. Listen, folks, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. Listen, man, your boy's on iTunes. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's on iTunes as well. Go over to iTunes, search The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. Subscribe to the show, okay? Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes as well, and give your boy a rating. You know what I'm saying? A 5-star rating would be cool. And give me some feedback. Let me know what you folks think about the show. I love hearing, you know, your thoughts about what I'm doing here. Salute to everybody that does. I truly appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also, as well, for those of you that want to see this handsome face, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just a great voice. I look good as well. You know what I'm saying? I look great. At least that's what I'm told. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm told constantly. Joe, you're a handsome guy. Hey, I want to share this with the world. We live stream the radio show on YouTube. Go over to Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Again, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe to that YouTube page and turn on your notifications so when I post content, y'all will be in the know. You know what I'm saying? So anything that goes on up there, I also have, you know, other videos I put up there as well. When I post that stuff, you guys want to see me live, you'll get the notifications. And you can check right in, no issues. You know what I'm saying? No issues. That's what it's all about. I'm also on Twitter as well, YoungJ000. You can follow that page. You can also follow the show's page as well as at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and follow those pages and let's get into it. We talk Jets. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? That is what we do. So, you know, again, follow your boy across those platforms and get with me. Now, with that said, we're coming off of a Senior Bowl, man, where the New York Jets sat down with that national team, and that's what they coached. And let me tell you something. There was a lot of good things that came out of this Senior Bowl. There was a lot of good things said about the New York Jets staff. A lot of good things said about their professionalism. A lot of people talked about how great they did, you know, with the young players. And a lot of the players themselves said, hey, I loved what I did, or I loved working with the Jet staff. I loved, you know, coming to practice and just being fired up. It was talked about how energized the staff was. And I keep saying this, and I think a lot of Jets fans truly don't understand this, that, yes, getting the right players in here is important. It's extremely important to get the right players in here to help this rebuild along. But having the right coaching, okay, having the right attitude, having the guys that we need to do what? To change the culture here is just as important, if not more. Having the right leader to lead you through this rebuild is extremely important. And it's because we've seen that fail in the past. Todd Bowles, we started the rebuild with him, and we saw quickly that he was not the guy. And then what happened? We brought in Adam Gase, and that pretty much destroyed, you know, 2 years of the rebuild after that. So having Saleh and his staff come in here, come in with a change of energy, come in with passion, come in fired up, come in wanting to inspire players as well, has been huge for us. And we saw that at the Senior Bowl. Now, the Senior Bowl is big for us because what it allowed the New York Jets to do was really get up close and personal with a lot of players, a lot of young players that we could end up drafting. You get a lot of insight, a lot of things that you would not see at the Combine. You know, we saw Ron Middleton. He was the head coach, you know, for the Bowl. Again, a lot of the other Jet staff kind of took a step back. We saw Ron Middleton get up there, and he led a lot of passionate speeches, you know, talked about how, hey, if it moves, hit it. If it don't move, hit it. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that don't know what I'm saying, there's a great video up of Ron Middleton just out there addressing a lot of the young players before they were going out there on the field. And you could feel the energy. You could, you know, if you're not a Jets player, it made you want to be a Jets player. It made you want to go run out on the field for that guy, you know what I'm saying, and take on whoever was there. Pretty much every player, you know, that played on that national team talked about how much they loved the Jets coaching staff. We also saw players wearing Jets paraphernalia. We saw guys with Jets hats on, all kinds of stuff. I don't know if that's, you know, legal. I'm just saying that that's what we saw. We saw pictures of that. And it was unbelievable. But the biggest thing is, again, this really allowed the Jets to truly evaluate players. A lot of things that you can hide at the Combine, and we've seen the Jets get duped by players in the past hiding things in the Combine, right? We drafted Vernon Golston. He was a bust, but he was a big Combine warrior, a guy that, you know, did extremely well. And then we drafted him, we brought him in here. He did nothing for us. Well, here at the Senior Bowl, you can't hide that because they got a couple of days to sit down with you. They're talking to you. They're going back and forth with you. They're discussing a lot of things. They're getting insight on your mentality as well, which is huge. That's huge because you can be great physically. You can have all the attributes, but if you don't have it upstairs, then you're probably not going to last too long in the league. If you don't have your mind together, if you're not willing to, you know, go through the grind, if you're a guy that's going to quit and give up easily, they're going to see that there at the Senior Bowl. If you struggle and just decide to throw your hands up and give up, they're going to see that. They're going to see those things, the intangibles. That's another thing you need to look at, or a lot of Jets fans I don't think about when we talk about drafting players, is you also got to think about the mentality of the players. You also got to think about their will. Are there guys that are going to grind? That's why Joe Douglas is big on drafting high character guys. Because when you're in the scrum and things are not looking good and you're down in that game and it's the fourth quarter and you need to make that stop to get the offense the ball back so they can go do what they need to do, do you have the guts to do that? Do you have what it takes to stand up and say, you know what, things are not going well right now, but I'm going to keep fighting? The Senior Bowl, talking to these players constantly, you know, being able to sit down with them, they were able to evaluate some of those things. Along as well with seeing how players respond to their coaching, which is huge too. There's some players, you know, that that want to be babied. There's some players that you just may not vibe with. When you sit down at that Senior Bowl and you're telling guys what to do and you see how fired up some guys are, how disinterested other guys are, it makes your evaluation process a bit easier as well. Maybe this guy is just not a guy that responds to what we're doing here. Maybe he just doesn't have the dynamics of what it takes to be a Jet personality-wise. That's huge as well. That is huge. So a lot of those things were seen at the Senior Bowl. And we saw, again, there was a lot of players that's been talked about ever since that bowl as well, okay? Trevor Penning is one of those guys, offensive tackle from Alabama. People are talking about this kid. You know, he's a guy that could end up going in that first round. We got some issues at tackle, we all know. Mekhi Becton, we love him. We got to wonder, is he going to come back fully healthy? Where is he going to be? If he does come back, can he win the left tackle position? If he does win the left tackle position, guess what? What's going on at that right tackle position? George Fant, yes, can end up sliding over there, but this is, you know, George Fant coming up on his last year unless the New York Jets extend him. What happens with him going into the future? That's a big question as well. Maybe Penning is the guy that's going to be our future right tackle. Who knows? But there's a lot of talk about him. You know, Zion Johnson as well, who, man, let me tell you something. In the running game, this kid's a grader, okay? We saw him come in and have some impact. This is a guy that's playing guard out of Boston College. We also saw him, you know, we also saw it talked about as well, him taking snaps at center. He's trying to learn that center position. That's going to up his draft stock as well, because we got some issues there at right guard. Maybe he's the guy that we take and bring in. Maybe he's our future right guard. Hell, maybe he's, could be a guy that could be a relief guy as well for our depth. We need that too. Maybe he's a guy that the New York Jets look at and say, hey, we could take this kid. He can come in and he can play some center and guard for us. We've seen injuries along our offensive line cost us as well. So that's the guy to keep your eye on too. I'll tell you what, this kid, Trey McBride, his draft stock is moving up. His draft stock is soaring right now, all right? This is a kid that was already talked about, possibly being a New York Jets fans were excited about him. But I'll tell you what, after this game, this kid is unbelievable. He's a guy that was talked about going in that, high second round. Some people had him maybe mid-second round. And there's talk now about him going late first. So we're going to discuss that tonight as well. Boye Mafia as well had a great game, player of the game. This guy was all over the place. Edge from Minnesota. He's just getting after it, sacking people. You got to see that his draft stock is probably soaring as well. And Jake Ferguson, another tight end. Jets need some help at tight end. This guy's fired up as well. This guy's doing his thing. So there's a lot of players that definitely performed well and raised their draft stock. And with that draft stock being raised, that could also help the New York Jets as well, because guess what that does? What that does is it allows the New York Jets draft capital to become more of an asset. Maybe other teams want to trade up and take some guys. So we're going to be discussing that tonight. We're also going to be talking about the New York Jets running back situation. Michael Carter looks phenomenal this season for us, but we got some guys that are free agents. Tevin Coleman could walk. We're going to be talking about Braxton Darius as well. There's a lot of talk that Braxton Darius may want $9 million per season. I need to know from Jets fans, are you paying Braxton Darius $9 million per? I want to know. I want to know. We're going to be discussing that. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. I call my guys in the chat savages. Why? Because they're savages, right? They're savages. All right? And they get after it, okay? Nobody's safe, not even me. Salute to all of my guys, NY Jets FL, Danny Odell, Mikey LaFleur's in the building. Salute to you as well. I got the Jets offensive coordinator in here. You know what I'm saying? I got the Jets offensive coordinator in the building. You know what I mean? Salutes to Brian Steele, Mr. Magic, Shonen, all my guys, man. So we're going to get to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. First guy I'm going to my guy Colin, man. I'm coming directly to him. He knows his Jets. He knows what he's talking about. Salute to you, Colin. I want to thank you for calling in today. How are you feeling, my friend?
Hey, good evening, Joe. What's going on? Hey,
what's going on, man?
For the last show, too. Yeah.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Listen, man, we're sitting here talking about these things that went on in the Senior Bowl. You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts about how the coaching staff did? Because there was a lot of comments about how they did an immaculate job and brought so much energy and passion to the bowl. What are your thoughts about that, man?
Yeah, I mean, hats off to the Jets staff. I think that the culture that Joe Douglas, and Robert Saleh is building, it's reflecting on all the other coaches, right? So everyone seems to be on board with, what they're trying to do there. So the whole culture thing, it looks like it's on the right track. So, hats off to those guys, starting with, Jody and Robert Saleh. Those guys are doing a good job when it comes to that part.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Now, when you look at this situation as well, I think the Jets being able to coach this Senior Bowl, I think is big, because I think it's going to pay dividends as far as being able to scout players and really get the insight that you would need to figure out, is this guy a guy I want to draft or not? What are your thoughts about that, man? What are your thoughts about the New York Jets coaching staff being so close to some of these players that could end up being future Jets?
That's actually a very good thing for us, for the Jets, right? We get to meet with a lot of seniors, a lot of guys that, most likely are going to be around there, in the third round, maybe late second, fourth round. So they have a good opportunity to, they had a good opportunity to evaluate a lot of these guys and really, like, get to know them close up, right, and in person. So I think that's going to be an advantage for us in the later rounds as far as, like, guys that we definitely, going to be looking to get. One of the guys is the tight end.
Trey
Can't think of
Mcbride.
his name right now, but not him. He's going to be an early pick, right? He's probably going to go first or early second round.
He might go.
There's another receiver.
Now he might go late first. He might go late first. Now there's a lot of people already talking about him going first.
Yeah, there's a guy. He's a New Yorker guy that they possibly can get him in the third round. His data expressed, that he wants him playing for the Jets. So I won't be surprised if that's the guy that we pick. I just can't think of the name. Maybe the chat can help. Maybe the chat can help out a little with who I'm referring to. But yeah, he could be a guy that that the Jets target because there's so many needs we have, right? So I know everyone is like really high on drafting the tight end in the second round, but if we don't, and if this guy potentially can be there in the third round, I think maybe they wait to get him in the third round, especially if they're going to sign a free agent tight end as well. They may not go after like a Trey McBride or something like that in the second round. Just like I said, there's so many needs to fill right now. So yeah, just my opinion though.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, when you look at the draft particularly, and again, you talked about guys in the second round, there's a bunch of tight ends in this draft. I mean, outside of Trey McBride, who a lot of people already are just like, he's the runaway best tight end in the draft. You got Jalen Windermeyer there. You got Cole Turner. You got Jeremy Ruckert, who's a guy. I think he's one of.
Yeah,
I think he's the guy that's
the guy. Ruckert. Yep.
Okay, Jeremy
Ruckert.
I'm not sure because
you
said tight end. I was like, I mean, you said wide receiver, but yeah, Jeremy Ruckert's a guy that's been talked about. Possibly linked with the Jets. Jets fans love him too. Cade Otton is going to be there. Isaiah Likely. People are just constantly listening. This tight end class is loaded. There's a bunch of guys. Jake Ferguson too, who I thought played pretty well as well, is also being talked about as well as an option for the New York Jets too. So yeah, there's guys out there. There's guys out there that we could absolutely attack, and I think that second round might be where we take them, especially with this tight end class being so deep. But I tell you what, New York Jets fans are in love with Trey McBride. I get it. This guy's the big guy from Colorado. He's handling business, but there's some other guys we could take too. So when you look at this situation right now, man, and you look at, the impact again that this draft class is having, or that the Senior Bowl is having, within the draft, a lot of people are moved up, and a lot of people are impressed by some of the performances by some of these guys within this Senior Bowl too. Could you see the New York Jets draft capital becoming more valuable because teams might want to move up for some guys that performed well within this Senior Bowl? Yeah,
I to be honest with you, I didn't watch the Senior Bowl because I just happened to have a separate event at that time. But I did look some follow-up videos. A lot of guys impressed in the Senior Bowl. But I think for the Jets, itself, the guys that they may be eyeing up are going to be the guys that they're going to probably draft in the third round. And, third, fourth, fifth round. I don't think we have, that many picks, but, I could see them looking to, get some of those guys in the later rounds for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if other teams are going to be looking to move up, to get some of those guys, but possible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's
I'm
some
more,
guys.
I'm more.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett is a guy.
Like those guys in the first round. That, that the one thing with the first round with guys moving up, it's really gonna come down to Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh being very clever as to what they do. Right? Do they trade out from the fourth pick, or do they trade out from the 10th, or do they trade out from both picks to acquire more picks? So it's gonna like they would say, cat and mouse game that Joe Douglas is going to have to play to really maximize the potential of those 2 picks. You know, that's going to be the $1 million question. None of us has an answer for it right now, but I think they just have to be very clever on that 4th and 10th pick as far as what they're going to do. We really can't go wrong with the picks because we have so many needs, right? So, you know, you take the best available player at 4 and 10, and we will be filling the need regardless. So we really cannot go wrong with those 2 picks. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking facts. I mean, again, even, you know, going back, talking about, you know, possibly having teams trade up. I tell you what, Kenny Pickett was a guy that I think a lot of teams are looking at. There's been talk about him possibly going, you know, in the top 10 again. So if we're talking about that, you know, maybe he goes maybe 8, 9, 10, maybe a team like Washington will want to trade up with us to look at, you know, taking him before some other team jumps them to take a quarterback. So that's a guy I think we could possibly be looking at. But, and you talked about something great as well, was trading back. Now, if you're the New York Jets and you're sitting at 10, right, and you're looking to trade back, what is the furthest you think the New York Jets should go, you know, that before it's like no man's land for you? What is the furthest down in the first round you would be willing to go from 10?
Yeah, I think they would have to look at the board, right, at the needs at every position, because we need a player like seems like every position right now. So, you know, if you're I would trade back as far as, you know, the pick where I'm still getting potentially maybe a top 2 guy, you know, so it could be a top 2 receiver, maybe it's corner, maybe it's linebacker, right? But I would go as far back as where I'm still getting at least a top 2 player. Okay. So, you know, they would have to really, you know, look at, you know, the players that they think may potentially go. You know, if you go back as far as 15, 16, and you can still get Linderbaum, or you can get a 2 linebacker. Edge, obviously, you're not going to get a top 2 edge because you're not even going to get that in the 4th pick. But, you know, maybe you get a wide receiver, maybe you get a corner, right? There's so many needs, like I said, we have. So, yeah, why not? Why not just trade back, you know, as far back as you can and still get the talent? So, yeah. I can't give you, like, an exact number, but, yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But I would say trade back if you can.
Yeah. Is there any scenario where you could see the New York Jets utilizing maybe the capital in some of their mid rounds to move from the, you know, high in the second round where we are back into the first round to grab a guy? Is there any scenario where you see that? Is that something you'd like to see the New York Jets do?
Want to see that happen this year. I would prefer if we, you know, hold the ground in the second round, because that's 2 picks. That's 2 early picks. So I would prefer if we, you know, we trade back on the 4th or the 10th pick and acquire additional picks. But I don't want to trade, you know, 2 second round picks to move up to get one guy. Like I said, I just feel like we have so many needs. And this is the draft where we have to secure players that come next draft. We're not looking at the same positions again, right? We need to really lock down certain positions with these top 4 picks so that we're not addressing the same positions come next year. That's how I look at it. And that's what I meant when I say they really have to be clever with the draft this year, right? We do have pieces in place, you know, Elijah Moore, you know, Vera Tucker. We have some guys. Hopefully Becton can come back, you know, whether he plays right tackle or left tackle. You know, we still have some pieces there. So now we just need to go get the other pieces with these 4 picks. So I don't want to move up back into the first round. I think there's just too many different talented players where we can just, you know, stay right where we are. And, you know, there's so many guys to get. You know, you can get a guard in the second round. You can get a tight end. Safety. You know, there's so many different positions we need. So I think, you know, use the 4 picks to get 4 players that potentially could be starters for the team. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Just my take.
And there's so many guys. Yeah, no, that's a great take because again, we like you said as well, we need so much help. The only way that I could see the New York Jets really moving back into the first round is if they do utilize, maybe that 10th pick or maybe even 4th pick again, depending on how Joe Douglas feels, to trade down and get some significant capital back and utilize that as just like throwaway capital. Okay, we got, we moved down from 10 to whatever. We got maybe a second-round pick, or we got a couple thirds or something like that. Let's utilize that, pair that, move up for a guy that we know is not going to be there, when we are there in the second round. We don't feel it's not going to be. Because, again, Jacksonville is there before us. Detroit is there before us in the second round. We do have 2 second-round picks at 35 and 38, but there's, 2 teams that are hungry as well, that need talent at multiple spots as well. And if you covet a guy as much as, Joe Douglas, figures that he'll cover whatever player, I think that he'll make a move. And again, we've seen Joe Douglas make trades up and not get fleeced. I mean, he gave up pretty much, a 4th-round pick, and I don't know what else he gave up, some change or something, to get Elijah Vera-Tucker, who was the best guard in the draft, in my opinion. I mean, the kid came in and played Pro Bowl level. So it's like, I could see Joe Douglas making a move, especially, again, if there's some capital that's left. But there is some guys, again, in that second round, too. As long as you don't get fleeced, I think that we could still, be active there as well. There's some guys that can really attack. Again, you look at the Senior Bowl, there's a guy, man, Johnson. This guy was phenomenal, man. Zion Johnson was just out there pushing people around great, and he's a guy that can go in the mid-rounds. There's another kid, Jermaine Johnson, I believe, is a pass rusher. He sparked. We saw him at practices really putting on. So there's so many names and so many guys that can move around. I definitely think, again, the Senior Bowl and the impact and watching these guys could really, really impact the New York Jets draft and how we move up and down this board to really attack guys and our rankings of guys as well. You know what I'm saying, from that. So, it's going to be interesting.
There's a lot of talent. Yeah, there's a lot of talent, Joe, and that's why I think that we can stay put. And because the team has so many needs, there's going to be guys. There's going to be there's going to be a guard there. There's going to be a tight end there. There's going to be an edge there, a safety there, a corner. There's just going to be just so many guys, wide receiver, right? Like I said, we just have so many needs. So, to trade away picks to move up just to acquire one guy, unless this guy that you're trying to get is going to be like, some Pro Bowler type guy you're getting, still think, you stay firm up with the 4 picks. And then, if you want to trade up, if you want to try to trade some later round picks to try to move up, maybe back into, like, let's say the 4th round or something like that, I'm all for that. I'm all for trading away the later picks and package a couple of late picks and maybe just move one spot up into, like, the next, earlier round or something like that. But this year I just feel like we have 4 picks that we can solidify 4 positions on the team. Right? We just have too many needs to just, go get one guy, trade 2 picks to get one pick right now.
Yeah, no, listen, I understand you. So when you look at this Jets roster right now, there's a lot of big questions as well. And like you said, there's holes that need to be filled. But we got a guy that's walking into free agency, and I think he's a wide receiver that a lot of people are wondering what's going on with, and it's Braxton Darius. There's been a lot of talk about his contract demands. There's been rumors swirling around as well, particularly it came in the time from the Senior Bowl. There's talks that Braxton Darius might want $9 million per season. If you're the New York Jets general manager, what is the most that you're willing to pay Braxton Darius, bro?
I mean, listen, the question I ask myself about Braxton Darius, I love the guy, hard worker. He gives 110% every time he's on the field. And, rightfully he should have, and he had to, because, you had guys that, wasn't in the game, right? You didn't have Corey Davis half the time. You didn't have Elijah Moore. right? The guys that should have been putting up big numbers as well. So Barrios had an opportunity to do what he had to do. He did it in the year that, he's going to be a free agent, right? So for me, the question is, was that the max potential that, we saw from Barrios? Can Barrios double what he did last year as far as receptions and receiving yards when you have Corey Davis, Elijah Tucker, guys talking about maybe going drafting a Drake London, right? So you have to look and say, okay, where does Barrios fit in with, a lineup like that, right? Where you're going to have, Elijah Moore, and like I say, you're going to have Corey Davis. Maybe you have another guy, right? How does does Barrios just become mainly like a fourth receiver now, and special teams guy? Are we giving a guy like that $9 million a year? I don't know. That's to me.
What is the most that you'd be willing to give him? Like, what is the most you'd be say? Listen, this is the cutoff. Take this or walk away.
7 the max.
7
and
the max.
That's me being generous. that's me being generous.
Listen, take 7 or hit the road, right?
That's like your boss likes you and he gives you a little extra bonus. That's me being generous right now, because honestly, if it was me signing, my name on the paper, it probably would have been 6. And, we had a guy, we had Andre Roberts, right? It's special teams guy.
Yep.
The guy was great, and we didn't sign him,
Yeah.
So,
but
if
even
Barrios,
looking at that, though,
Barrios walks.
even looking at that, though, Colin, like you just said as well, and I was going to bring it up too, when you talk about the addition of all these other wide receivers, I think that would help Braxton Darius, because now he's out there working in the slot, working around. You can't double team him. You got all this attention on all these other places, like you said. You got Elijah Moore out there balling. You got Corey Davis out there. Who knows? Maybe we add Drake London or Williams or whoever we may add in this upcoming draft. Braxton Darius is going to go out there, and we've seen him win matchups constantly, especially late down the season when he was really featured within the offense, when he was basically the only guy healthy. And then not only that, like you said as well, Andre Roberts was the last guy that we had that could even kick return. He was an all-pro kick returner this year. And again, I'm not saying we should pay him $9 million a month. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm saying if you let this guy walk away, then look how long our special teams was hurting. Do you want to have that yet again? Right. Do you want to have that issue again? Right. No, go ahead. I'll give you the last word.
Right. The only thing I could see that will hurt the most is the special teams, right? If Barrios walk, because the way I vision it is if we go out and we get Trey McBride, right? Now you have your tight end there, right? You go out and you have Trey McBride, you have Elijah Moore, you have Corey Davis, and you draft a receiver, right? Now, how often is Barrios getting on the field other than special teams? So that's where there's like that thin line, right? Between, okay, are we really signing this guy or are we not signing this guy? So I think when you look at the whole big picture, if I'm in Barrios' shoes and a team comes to me and they're going to offer me more than Joe Douglas is offering, obviously I'm chasing the money at this point, So it'll be interesting to see, but there's someone else will have to fill the role, right? That's how I look at it.
No, listen. I hear you. You said $7 million, and that was that. I respect it. Well, listen, man. Listen, Colin. I got to get back to these lines. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. You gave us one hell of a call, man. I'm not gonna lie. Let me give you a hand, man. Studio audience, please. Go ahead and give us a hand.
All right,
All right, y'all doing too much. You know what I'm saying, Colin? I let them go for a little bit, and it's like they think I'm going to pay them the more they clap. I'm not going to pay y'all the more y'all clap, okay? They give them a couple seconds and then stop. I try to tell y'all this every time. You know what I'm saying? That's what I try to do, but they don't listen, Colin. Listen, I got to get going, Colin. I want to thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good one, all right?
Yeah.
You know, I tell the studio audience to slow it down. You know what I'm saying? Pump your brakes. I'm not going to pay you more money because you clap longer, all right? Slow down. We're going to get back to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. We're going to get to everybody. When you call in, please be patient. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. If this is your first time watching me, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Also, there's a super chat up there. If you'd like to give to the stream, please do. If you don't want to give to the super chat, you want to hit me in the Cash App. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Anything you give to the platform is greatly appreciated. Also, hit that thumbs up bell. Hit that thumbs up button as well. It helps the stream, helps to get around. And again, salutes to all the savages, Venom G's, Budgeting D, NY Jets FL, all my guys in there. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy, Aiden. We're going to Aiden, man. Rusty Steve, hold on one second. We'll get to you folks in a second. Salutes to my guy, Aiden. He knows what he's talking about. This guy is a Jets fan through and through. How's it going, my friend? We're talking Senior Bowl tonight. Give me your thoughts about a player that you think performed well at the Senior Bowl that impressed you.
Big Joe, what's up, baby? Hey, when it comes down to the Senior Bowl, I'm all right, man. When it comes down to the Senior Bowl, I was really impressed with a guy who I kind of knew was going to hold his own, but in my opinion, didn't lose no reps on the O-line and D-line. Is my man Zion Johnson. So he got out of Boston College, right? Was their starting right guard, which we need, but he showed his versatility and took all his reps at center and didn't lose not near one rep. And he was going against some dogs out there. So I saw him go against the UConn kid who reminds me a lot of Foley Fatakasi. I think his name is Travis Cody, I think, and he stoned him. But everyone else, he walked back to the quarterback and put him in his lap, like, here, hold that. But Zion Johnson wasn't having none of it. So I know a lot. I know the kid out of UNI, University of Northern Iowa. He's getting a lot of hype, but I seen him get put on his behind a couple of times, man. I seen him lose reps. I seen some bad footwork. I seen him get his hands outside and give up his chest and get bull rushed. So I see a lot of hype in him, but not too much production. I don't see a lot of the sure steadiness that we need from a tackle position, which I still believe in Becton. I don't really want to touch tackle as a top round pick right now, if I can. But Jermaine Johnson did his thing too. Pass rusher from Florida State. He did his dizzle. I mean, I seen him on tape. I seen him some good things, but he let it all hang out during the Senior Bowl. So I mean, those are my top two performers. Was him, Zion Johnson, Jermaine Johnson, and even Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati, the cornerback from Cincinnati. He held his own. So I saw some things. Like maybe we can get some of these guys in the later rounds. You know, we get the relationship with the Jets, and maybe we can pick still some top prospects for once.
Yeah. Now, when you talk about, and again, Aiden, I want to thank you for calling in because you're already bringing the heat. Now, you talked about a lot of these guys playing well, some of the things that, you were impressed by a couple of guys as well. Now, some of these guys, their draft stock is raised. Do you think that does good things for the New York Jets draft capital? Do you think that some teams are watching these bowl games and going, whoa, here's a guy that we may not have taken, but his performance here performed so well, we might want to move up for him. Could you see a team be willing to trade maybe 10, trade up to 10 with the New York Jets, maybe take that and New York Jets trade down for a player that performed well in the Senior Bowl?
Unfortunately not, man, because what needed to happen was the quarterbacks need to show out. I was hoping that Daniel Pickett did his thing, the quarterback from Pitt. I was hoping Ryder from Cincinnati did some things. They were all kind of ho-hum, no one really separated himself. Malik Willis did. the quarterback from Liberty, small school kid.
Yeah.
But I don't think enough for someone to say, you know what, I got to go get this kid at 10. So, unfortunately, I think maybe it might hurt us when it comes down to a guy like Zion Johnson, where a lot of people probably he was kind of off the radar. Maybe we could have scooped him at second, maybe even like third round, or traded back one of our second-round picks and got him in the later round for the second-round pick. But the Cavs got the bag on him. If we want, so that's over. But maybe if people, that's over. If we wanted to maybe trade our 10th round pick, like if we didn't get an edge rusher, because I know a lot of people say maybe we should go O-line, just kind of, solidify the O-line for once. And then maybe get like that kid Okemu Okwani out of North Carolina State, a guy who can play some guard and some tackle. So, we have some depth there if we don't get back Modis. So we can have him as a swing tackle or a guard. And even Vera Tucker could play some tackle at USC. So now we would have that versatility from the guard tackle position, and maybe get LDT as a backup. And, we have Connor McGovern, that's kind of what probably fortify our line. And then maybe if we trade back our 10th round pick, if we can get Jermaine Johnson as a later round pass rusher. So that's kind of where it might help us, and maybe parlay that into, that 10th round pick to get a number one receiver out of the draft, or at least a productive receiver, and maybe Jermaine Johnson in the back end of the first round. So, we'll see, man. We'll see. But, no, I don't think the quarterbacks, if they did their thing, would have helped us, but they didn't do enough.
Well, I mean, Pickett has definitely been talked about quite a bit. He's a guy that some people are saying might be a guy that can go within that late 10, maybe 8, 9, 10, something like that. We'll see. Maybe I look at it like maybe a team will really be willing to trade up. I could see maybe Washington knocking at our door saying, hey, we don't want to get jumped. Maybe they grab him. Who knows? But like you said as well, there's some other guys that can definitely be on the board for us. Now, you talked about trading down. What is the furthest that you believe the New York Jets should trade down? For you, if you're looking at it, you're the Jets general manager, where is the holding point for you where you're like, I'm willing to go down, but not that far because I don't want to be in no man's land?
Yeah. Maybe I'm not touching my 4th round pick. You can probably, we could probably do some business in the 10th round. Unless you give me a king's ransom for the 4th round.
You mean the 10th pick? You mean the 10th pick?
Yeah. If you want to talk about my 4th round pick, I need you to sell your soul, your grandmother, your grandmother's grandmother, if you want the 4th round pick.
For number 4? For number 4.
That's right, for number 4. For number 4. But for number 10 is most likely where we could probably do business. And I'll probably go as far as maybe 15, 16. Maybe Linderbaum will be there. Like I said, Jermaine Johnson. I feel like we got to really show up the both sides of the line of scrimmage, or at least get a playmaker for Zach, because I'm tired of seeing this guy have nowhere to go to. He's just running for his life.
Talk about it. Yeah, you talking facts there. We cannot have that. I don't want to see another PCL injury. I don't want that as well. But when you're talking about trading down, let me tell you something, Aiden. There's a lot of people that are in love with Trey McBride, all right? And his draft stock, it was high already before. But now people are saying that this guy is going to go. We're talking first round. We're talking mid to low first round. Are you willing, if you're the Jets general manager, would you be willing to stack some capital from your mid-rounds to trade back into the first round to grab this guy? Because there's some people thinking that maybe a team is going to be willing to jump us to take him high in the top of the second, or that Jacksonville might look to take him high in the second. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I think we might have lost it on Trey McBride. He did his thing. He did doing his thing. I think he shot to the moon. So we gotta, so we gotta kind of pivot. But it's luckily for us though, this is a deep draft class. As far as tight ends go. So I mean, you could pivot over to Jeremy Ruckert, you could pivot over to Charlie Kolar, and actually they said the most impressive guy at the Senior Bowl was a little-known kid out of UCLA, Greg Dulcich. And I mean, I've seen him burn linebackers. I mean, it left them in their dust, and he's a willing blocker. So he has a little bit more length than Trey McBride. So sometimes these guys get marked as number one, and it'd be someone who just comes out the dark horse, a dark horse who winds up actually performing well in the league. So no, I mean I like Trey McBride. I think he'd be a great fit. I know we want to be a 12 personnel team, but if we can get an Njoku, I don't think we're getting a guy from the Cowboys. I don't think he's coming here. I think he's going to probably get franchise tag. But I mean, if we pair him with a free agent like Njoku or someone was even saying Darius Myers from the Dolphins, Gesicki really doesn't fit. But with a Greg Dulcich who's 6'5", or a Jeremy Rucker who's 6'6", Kolar who's 6'6", and they all block and they all got good hands and they can all kind of separate. I'd have to do that as opposed to maybe give up some of my mid-round picks that I could really hit on. I mean, because these mid-round picks are at the top of these rounds. I mean, we were bad. We're going to stink. We're going to stink for a reason. So I'm not really willing to give it up for McBride. Because he's not Kyle Pitts. He's not. He's not. We if we took Kyle Pitts or someone like that who's a unicorn, I get it. But I think his production could be met with some of these other prospects.
Yeah, and I heard you talk a little bit about Gesicki. I know that there's a lot of Jets fans that want Schultz, and that's the guy from Dallas. I get it, and like you said as well, I don't think he ends up coming here. I really do think he's either going to get franchise tag or he's going to go somewhere else. I like him. Something tells me he's not going to end up here. But I'll tell you what, if Mike Gesicki ends up hitting free agency, the Jets have to hit this guy up. I know people are talking about the blocking and blah, 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 right? That's cool and everything, whatever. I watched this guy cook us for years, okay?
Facts.
I'm talking about
Facts
years.
all the way.
I watched
all the way.
Scorched us, run away from our linebackers, dust our safeties off. He cooked a couple of our corners as well. He's catching touchdowns, and he's a big body. Look, I get it. He maybe is not the best blocker, but look, you can throw a stone in the NFL and hit a blocking tight end. Blocking tight ends hit the free agency market all the time. You can get him from anywhere, all right? This guy, Gesicki, if he's on the market, you got to chase him. I'm sorry. I look, I get it, but if Mike Gesicki's out there, Joe Douglas has got to make that call for me, man. He's got to, bro.
I hope so. I mean, I would take a throw at it. I think you don't always have to fit the round peg in the square hole. Work around your players, man. If your players can't block it, then no cold blocker plays for him. Put them out in the slot.
That's what I'm saying.
Let them cook the safeties and linebackers like they did cooking our safeties and our linebackers.
Man, I'm talking working us. Now, when you look at the New York Jets right now, this wide receiver core, there's a guy, Braxton Darius, hitting free agency. There's a lot of talk about him, man. Now after Senior Bowl,
pay that man his money.
$9 million a season. Are you willing to give? Are you willing to give him $9 million a season?
Hold on.
Talk to me.
Hear me when I say it. Pay this man.
I'm listening.
His money. Stop playing around. Okay, you're not. All right. So people are saying, right? Their squeal number is $7 million. I respect.
Here we go.
I hear it. I hear it. But I mean, for $2 million, you're going to lose. Right? Everyone says, "Oh, he's a fourth receiver. He was a fourth receiver. Was he Zach Wilson's fourth target this year? Let's keep it 100. Was he? No. He was like his second or sometimes his first. All right? Our wide receiver core is a mash unit for the past 2 years. I mean, these guys can't get out their own way. It's like they get a hangnail and they done for the year. So what's the best ability? Availability. And who's been available for us? Barrios. Who's won third downs for us? Barrios. It hasn't been Elijah Moore. It was like, oh, Elijah Moore could do it. He ain't doing it. He ain't doing it. He's not doing it. And in my opinion, the jet sweeps, the end arounds, I've seen Elijah Moore try to do it, but he don't do it with the same success that Barrios has done it. He's not weaving in and out. He's got speed, but I'm not sure if he has the short area quickness that Barrios has shown us. Not just 1 year, 2 years, but since he got here from us. We took him from the Patriots, right? If we don't pay him, you know what's going to happen? He's going to go back to the Patriots and cook us. Oh, man. All right? Or go back to Miami. He's from Miami. Come on. We're going to strengthen our AFC rivals, our AFC East rivals if we let him go for $2 million, right? We did that to Robbie Anderson, right? Damn it if we didn't wish we had Robbie Anderson 2 years ago. Where would this wide receiver core be? For $2 million. Stop. People act like it's their money they spending. Right? Get off the right. Unclutch your purse. Yeah. Okay? And let them. Because who else are we paying from our own, right? We let Foley Fulicasi go, right? We're not going to sign Robert Morris, right? We're going to let him walk. We're not bringing back any of our tight ends, right? So that money got to go somewhere. All right? It's air. It's air. The money is air. So why not keep a homegrown talent who plays like a demon on offense, on special teams? He's the first All-Pro we've had since Vietnam. And we're going to tell him to go take a hike for $2 more million. I mean, really, think about it. Think about it. Who are you replacing him with? Is it Crowder? No, he's gone too. So you're saying, oh, well, we didn't give Andre Roberts that, and now look how our special teams has been ever since. So Jets fans always want to say, we don't get that nice. We don't get that nice. We don't get nice. You get something nice, and then you let it walk out the door. And then you say, how come free agents don't want to play for us? Because you don't pay them. Name one guy who's going to say, you know what, I want to play with Zach Wilson, where I may or may not get the ball thrown accurately to me. There may be an O-line that may not stand up to the rush. You know, I want to play for the bottom basement of the AFC East Jets. Baxter said, hey, I'll do it. Just give me $2 million more. And we're gonna clutch our purse for that. If you can name me someone to replace with right now, then I'll sign on a dotted line. But if you need to bring in 2 or 3 more guys to fix what Berrios does, and this guy's been there doing that, and it's been a locker room, you know, and it's been great in the locker room. He's been doing everything you ask of him. You know, what kind of message does that send? That why should I come right? And just the taxes alone in New York and New Jersey. He needs that $2 million. They will tax him to death. When you go to Miami, where they don't even have tax. They don't have state tax.
Listen, I hear you. I've gone back and forth with a lot of people, and my initial thing was $7 to $8 million, and people were like, "Oh, Joe, $7 to $8 million, even that, you know, 6 is at the most." And I was like, "Listen, Braxton Darius, at the end of this season, he was like the only guy that was healthy. He was relatively healthy this season as well, and he was making plays consistently this season. And this was a guy that even I admittedly talked about possibly not even making the roster. Remember when Denzel Mims was the big thing, and we're all those things? And then you also talk about the kick returning ability as well. You're like, dude, he's an all-pro kick returner. Now, look, I'm not fully on the $9 million per season bandwagon. I'm not on that yet. But what I am saying is I see what people are talking about. When A's bringing the take like he's bringing it right now, and I'm going to give him his props. I'm going to give him his props because everything he's saying is facts. $9 million a year is just a little tough for me. It's just a little tough. But I hear you. Hey,
that's what Randall Cobb is getting. Randall Cobb is getting $9 million out the slot. One person goes down. Who's the next person coming up? On this roster right now, one person goes down. Who's the next one? It's Max Berrios. Football is 100% guaranteed injury sport. You need depth. We keep saying we need depth. We need, right? It says, oh, man, look at the Wayne Corbett's of the world. Who do you think Berrios is? So if you don't want to up $2 million for that, then, you know, you get what you get. You get what you get. You know, you can bring the corpse of Randall Cobb here or whatever, and you'll see what happens. It's not the fire. It's not the same guy. I'm telling you. So I know what JD's going to do because he's kind of shown his hand. He's not going to pay this man. He's going to work at the door, and he's going to go out to Miami and the Patriots for cheaper. He will go for cheaper because they're contenders. We're not. We have to understand where we are in this rebuild. We're not going to pay anyone else in our own camp. Now, $2 more million is not going to stop us from signing some key free agents. It's not going to stop us from signing Schultz if he comes to us. But not many people are going to come to us. So we have a weapon here in home. He's just saying, hey, give me $2 million more, pay me like a respectable slot receiver will, right? He's not asking for the top of a slot receiver. He's asking for like kind of that middle range. There's other people who get paid like I think Schuster plays mostly at the slot. He gets like almost $15 billion. He's not asking for that. And he don't do no specials at all. So I'm telling you, we're going to get hurt in the receiver, and we're going to wish we had Berrios. Mark my words, he's not going to sign here. We're going to hold on to our purse strings, and we're going to regret it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I hear you. That was a great point there. Now, my final question before I let you go, man. You look at this New York Jets running back situation. Give me your thoughts on the season that Michael Carter had. What was your evaluation of him, and do you think we should re-sign Tevin Coleman?
I think Michael Carter is our one, no question about it. The offense, in my opinion, runs through him as it stands right now. Because really, besides Michael Carter, name one person. This is why I'm so hard on bringing back Barrios. Name one person on the offensive weapon that we have that puts fear into anyone else's heart. I'll wait. Name one person.
Yeah.
All right? So Michael Carter can be that guy. Guy. His trajectory is heading towards that guy, that weapon. Who, man, now you got to stack the box, and maybe we can hit some guys on the outside, right? With that being said, he's cheap. We got him. I'd love to pair him with another a kind of a power back who can move a little bit. For me, that guy who was Zach Charbonnet, a UCLA guy, but he went back to school. So that was my man crush of the draft. And it hurt me when he went back to school. But go ahead, brother, do what you're going to do. I bet you that guy will be a second-round, first-round pick next year. But you know what's so crazy to me? I felt Josh Adams, right? When we had him, I felt he was that complimentary back. 6'1", 225. He has speed. He's not going down in a pile. Michael Carter, in between the tackles, he has great contact balance, but he's not pushing that pile. You see what I'm saying? He's not going to push that pile. And some of those dirty yards you need a bigger back for that. And I don't know why we let go of Josh Adams. I felt like we should have cut Perine and kept Josh Adams, and we would have had that guy who's not blazing fast, but fast enough to kind of duck his head down and get those dirty, nasty yards when we needed it. And a bigger back to pick up those blitzes who just screaming at Zach Wilson. You know what I'm saying? The Jets had a lot of problems in their pass protection, and it wasn't all on the line. Some of it was just the back, and sometimes it was Michael Carter just getting overwhelmed. He's 5'9", 200, and some of these guys is coming downhill in the A gap, and they 250. You give them 40 pounds, and they running full speed. Yeah, you're getting overwhelmed. So I think we kind of played ourselves by not having a big back to kind of like neutralize some of these blitzes.
Yeah, and there's other guys again in free agency. Matt Breida, I think is going to be a guy that's going to be out there as well. He has familiarity with the system. He's a guy that we could possibly bring in and help us too. But like you said as well, looking at the running back situation, maybe the Jets take a guy a little bit later on in the draft. Maybe in these late rounds that could come in and fill in. But again, there's some other guys that played well. Like you said, Austin Walter played solidly too. Again, we'll see what happens with Ty Johnson. He was kind of disappointing this season. See if maybe he rebounds next season. I think he's going to be fighting for a spot. So we can go forward without Tevin Coleman, and I think be okay. Again, but with Michael Carter playing the way he did, the only thing I'm worried about is I just need him to be fully healthy for a full season. That's the only thing I want to see with Michael Carter. You know what I'm saying? Going forward.
That's the bugaboo.
Yeah,
that's the bugaboo.
Hey. Listen, you brought the fire tonight. Let me give A hand. You know what I'm saying? He brought the heat. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you, brother.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I done told y'all not too much. Y'all shut it down right perfectly at the right time. I told y'all not too much, and y'all starting to understand. You know what I'm saying? I don't pay y'all like that. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. You really bring the heat, all right?
You got it, brother. Take it easy.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Listen, all the savages going off in the chat. I see NY Jets FL saying, hey, Cordell Patterson may be a guy that we should look at. Yeah. I could see Cordell coming in and maybe making some waves here, but again, you got to attract him as well as a free agent. You got to get these guys in the building and sign them. I understand Braxton Darius at $9 million. I don't know, man. There's a case to be made, though. I will say that. I'm not saying that I'm on that bandwagon as of yet. I'm still in the 6, 7, maybe 8 kind of bandwagon right now. $9 million, But I tell you what, Braxton Darius put on this year and made a lot of plays, and not just that. He made a lot of plays on special teams. Dude is an all-pro kick returner. My goodness. Everybody's saying we can just go get somebody, from college. We said that when Andre Roberts walked away. And it was years before the all-pro kick returner, Braxton Darius. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to keep on talking about that tonight. Again, we're getting back to these lines, 515-602-9639, 515-602-9629 is the number. Call in. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not. Hit that notification bell and also give the stream a thumbs up. You can donate through the Super Chat or through my Cash App. Anything you give to the program is greatly appreciated. So we're getting back to these lines. Next, I'm going to my guy, Rusty, man. We're going to Rusty. Steve, we're coming directly to you after this. Rusty, salutes to you, my friend. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Rusty, I know you got some heat to bring to us, my friend. Braxton Darius. People are talking about $9 million, giving him $9 million, man. What are your thoughts about this? Would you give Braxton Darius $9 million per if you are the New York Jets general manager?
What's up, Joe? Salute, Savages. And hell no, I give Cheerios $9 million. No way.
Talk about it.
He's trying to get us to do that like New York Jets tax. Not happening. That ship has sailed with Geese. And it's not happening no more. And he wants to get cute. It's all good. You know, there's a kid out of UCLA, Kyle Phillips, who would love to take his job away from him, and he could do it. And when you see him play, you'll understand. And that other dude who was the caller before, if he was watching the tight end from UCLA, he should be watching the wide receiver. Kyle Phillips is ridiculous. And yeah, he's one of those steals of the draft. He's going to be in the game. They made him sit at the Senior Bowl because he was torching everybody. They're like, dude, don't even play on TV, honest to God, because you're going to make everybody look bad, and you might kill your stock if you get injured. So they told him not even to play. And he's a real deal, Holyfield.
Listen, Rusty, I hear what you're saying, man, and I get it. And I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I understand both sides of this argument. But when you look at the New York Jets wide receiver corps, if Braxton Darius walks away, again, Jamison Crowder, probably gone. We're probably not going to bring him back. Keelan Cole's probably going to be gone. Denzel Mims is a big question mark. It's really just Corey Davis and Elijah Moore at this point. You let Braxton Darius walk. Not only is Darius walking out of the door as a receiving threat, but he's also walking out of the door with an all-pro special team kick returner tag assigned to him as well. We all know that he is actually that good. And special teams helps teams. There's a lot of hidden yards there, sets you up with a lot of great field position. So are you willing to let all of that walk out of the door to go into the mist and try to find the next guy that we were supposed to be getting after Andre Roberts? Are you really willing to do that when you could just pay the $9 million to keep a guy? And then if you don't pay him, what does that say to your locker room? What does that say when you have a guy that's a team guy that puts on, that does things right and performs at a high level and you don't pay him? What does that say? I'm just saying, Rusty, go ahead. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. That's all I'm saying.
I tell Barrios, don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you. You know, honestly, like goodbye. And as far as being that team guy, and now you're trying to poach me for an extra $2 million, and then you're going to try and say that you're going to be a team guy, you know, that message is well sent to the locker room. That's not going to fly here. That's a no-fly zone. So that's how I take it. And you can be replaced. It happens. And as far as Robinson, I was sour about that, absolutely, and seeing him go to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. But what did he do? You haven't heard from him last year. Buffalo didn't go to no Super Bowl. Buffalo couldn't get out of their own way. Buffalo barely beat over 500 teams, and that goes for the whole season. I think they beat like 2 or 3. The rest were sub 500. So, I see through like all the fake glitter and glam of all that stuff, and I'm not buying it. We've eaten too much, crow or whatever, just basic dirt as Jets fans. I've seen it just the madness happen and happen and happen. And everybody's like, look, we got to stay the course. Can't go out and buy, this and that in free agency. And what does everybody do at the end of the year? They freak out. They do it like, the Black Tuesday thing for Christmas. Like, oh, yeah, we got to get this guy, that guy. No, stay the course. Go out and get the Fish, who I would 100% agree with you with Gesicki. I am done with him killing us. Let's get him. And then you draft, and then you draft 2 tight ends. You get somebody like McBride or Otten and Kohler. Mm-hmm. I'm on the board with Otten. That's my dude. But I do like, of course, Kohler and McBride. I do hope we get 2, tight ends in this draft. That's a must to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying out a 4 and 10. And if I can't get him, Nakobe Dean is not going to be there trading back. I think Nakobe Dean is a must to get. And
wait. Hold on a second, Rusty. Hold on, because you said a lot, man, and I want to really break this down.
I was going Long Island and New York, man. I just started ranting. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, listen, I hear you. Now, you just said you would trade out of 4 and 10. Okay, so let's start with 4. Where are you trading from in 4? Like, where are you willing to go, and who are you targeting when you trade down?
4. I would like to probably target around like the Cleveland Steamers, around 13, around the Ravens, try and snag, one of Philly's picks, probably hopefully shoot for like a Pittsburgh at the most. But then I'm going to want, a second, and I'm going to want a third round, as well. This is the year, I think, because you know how we went backwards? I think we're going the other way. Well, I think we're going the other way, and we're going to be starting to put some more money back in our piggy bank, so we can just keep on hitting.
So let's say a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau is there for you're still trading down?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Really?
I don't buy that. Yeah. I don't buy Thibodeau for nothing. And I know his name is Thibodeau. I'm just calling him Thibodeau, but no. No way. I don't buy. I don't like how he takes plays off. He's hungry. I'm not buying it. Yeah, he's cool. He's freakish athlete. They can't put that past him, no doubt. So is Javon Curse. But you know how that goes. I mean, not Javon Curse. Clowney. That's what he reminds me of. He reminds me of Clowney. And then I do not want Karlaftis, Mr. T-Rex arms.
Oregon? Rusty. No,
absolutely I do.
People are saying a lot of things. I watched this kid is a monster. I understand what people are talking about.
I do, and I watch him take plays off. And I watch him take plays off, too. I do. I watch. I go up there and I watch, man. I'm like an owl because they play at night a lot. So I have to sit there and watch them. But I am watching.
So there's no player. So in your opinion, if you're the Jets general manager, there is no player that would keep you at 4.
You're gonna be like, what? Your head's gonna spin with this one. But I might even use if Hutchinson was there. I mean, I'd take everything in me to not to just give it away. But I would definitely want to grab him.
If Hutchinson is there,
I would want a king's ransom. King's ransom. I would move. If that was,
you're still moving.
It would take. If Hutchinson is there and they give me a king's ransom for like next year's first type of deal and like a second this year and there, I would. Something like that. When you see Mafe, how crazy he just always goes up too.
Stop.
Nope. No way. It's the devil's lettuce. We always go through this. It's so much good for you.
Go ahead, Rusty. Go ahead. You talking.
Even Boye Mafe, he keeps on chipping away, and he's one of those under-the-radar types of dudes, and he's no joke, man. People keep on sleeping on that kid. Same thing with Gunter. Same thing with, D'Angelo Malone from, where the heck is he from? Western Kentucky, I think he is. Kid's been posting up 13 sacks like nothing every single year. Same thing with Gunter, and same thing with Mafe. And they're hungry, and they're not getting noticed, and they don't care. They're all captains. They're straight killers, and they're ruthless. That's what I want, and I think that's what we sort of deserve to have. I don't know. That's how I feel. I'm out of my mind though, but I don't smoke crack.
No, listen, listen, Rusty, I hear you. Everybody's got different takes. I'll tell you what, if Kayvon Thibodeau is there for, there is nothing you're going to get to move me.
Oh, that's a no-brainer for me to trade that.
Have not had a legitimate pass rusher in years. I am taking him. I talked about taking Tyler Linderbaum before. I would still do it. I don't give a damn. But I hear you.
I love Linderbaum. I'd grab him mids. I love him.
Yeah. You talked about 10. What is the furthest you're willing to move down from 10 before you're like in a no man's land, right? If you're the Jets general manager, what is the furthest that you're willing to trade down from 10?
Similar to 4, past like Pittsburgh. I'm going to be staying from like the Cleveland Steamers at 13 to, like around 20, because that's where I just want to. I just want to stack and rack as much as possible, and if possible, And the main guy that I absolutely want out of this draft is Nakobe Dean. He's the quarterback of defense. That's my dude. And second would be Linderbaum. It's just too early to get. And if we can stack and use hold Hamilton as ransom or people like that, or Thibodeau as ransom, or Neal as ransom, I would love to do that. And that's how I think. And because in this draft alone, you can get Kennard in the third. He's awesome. You can get Donovan West out of ASU. He's a maniac. I was liking Penning, but they have him way too high. I had him in the third and stuff. I'd have to, he seems like a muscle car you'd have to work on. But those are my types of dudes. And then Leo Chanel, and then for the running backs, I like White, Haskins, and then the Mike Allscott of Horvath. That kid is nasty from Purdue. He got injured. He didn't play a lot this year, but he literally has Mike Allscott's number, and he's from Purdue. Can't even make this up. But I don't know. This time of the year drives me insane. I'm pretty sure it does to you too.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there now. This is my final question for you, Rusty. You've been bringing the heat. You got a lot of different takes. I respect them. When you look at our running back situation, what is your evaluation of Michael Carter, and would you re-sign Tevin Coleman?
I love Carter, and he was funny as heck, too, when they interviewed him. I don't know if it was for the Pro Bowl or for a little thing for the Super Bowl, but he was funny. He killed it on the wherever he was on. But I wouldn't do Coleman again. I would grab somebody else, who'd you say before, Breida? He's fast as heck, too. He's nasty.
Yeah, Matt Breida.
He's familiar with that, and he's familiar with the offense. And I'm grabbing one of those kids out of, later rounds and in the draft. I either want White, Haskins, or Horvath from Purdue. Okay. Those are, and that kid Horvath is, he's 6'3", 240. And he can catch, block, and run. So, and maybe an Eric Ekazuma too from Texas Tech. I love that kid. I think he's better than Burks.
Dude, there's so many guys out there that come in.
Crazy.
The New York Jets, man. There's so many guys that can come in and really have an impact on our roster and what we do here. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be
this
exciting and intriguing. It absolutely is.
Yeah, it really is.
Listen, Rusty, I got to get back to these lines, man. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. You came in with some takes, and there was a lot of fire. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
You too, Joe, and have a great one, Savages.
All right, salutes. Have a good one. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. A lot of heat going on. Next, I'm going to my guy from North Carolina. Steve, we'll come to you next. This is my guy, man. He knows his Jets. He knows what he's talking about. First off, salute to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, my friend. We're talking Jets. We're talking Senior Bowl. Give me your thoughts about a player that you saw perform well at the Senior Bowl that you think the New York Jets should definitely take a look at drafting.
Hey, Joe. How you doing? It's always good to talk to you. I think obviously the tight ends. The tight ends have been a subject for a matter of years now because the Jets haven't really gotten very much of contribution from the tight end position. And I think that kind of stuntifying the offense. It's good to have wide receivers and backs, but if you can get some contribution from the tight end position, it's just another dimension to your offense. And we've seen how devastating it can be from the Patriots, even the Chargers, when they had their big tight end at the time, and the Chargers, had a very good program. And we've seen what tight ends can do. I think people underrate what a tight end can do because tight ends typically are bigger than your typical wide receiver. They can outrun your linebackers, and cornerbacks can't just bump into them and knock them down like they can those small wide receivers. That's a real problem, That's why Trey Mcbride has been such a hot topic. I'm hearing talk about him going late in the first round, which is, I think, within the range that he'll probably go because his stock is rising. His stock was good before the Senior Bowl, and now the Senior Bowl, he's probably a good bet to be at top 20, top 25 pick and be gone. And anybody wants him, they're going to have to either take him where they're at. If they pick late in the first round, probably going and think about selecting him, or going and trade in like the Jets. You know, they have the picks to do it, to jump back into that first round and possibly grab him, you know.
Yeah. So do you think Yeah, I know you want to. I'm going to let you get to that in a second. Listen, I talked about Trey McBride earlier, and I said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people at first saying, hey, mid-second round, you know, high second round is probably where he's going to go. Now it's, dude, this dude's going top, you know, somewhere in the 20s. 20s on down. That's what we're talking about in the first round now.
Yeah.
Now, when you're looking at packaging picks, you're saying you believe that the New York Jets, if they want him, should trade back up into that first round, maybe packaging some mid-round picks to go up and get him. So that's something that you would be all right with.
Oh, yes. I think especially if they can trade down with the 10th pick. Now, if they trade down with that 10th pick, that would give them more flexibility in which to be able to do that, you know, relatively easy.
Yeah.
You know, without much of a loss in terms of draft capital, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking
that's
absolute fact.
Something that should definitely be explored. Yeah, because McBride is the top tight end in this draft, and he's someone that's been on my radar for a while. Him, Isaiah Likely, and I like Jeremy Ruckert. You know, he has that athleticism, that long frame, and I think he's going to be a pretty good one as well. I think he's underrated, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts about
But I wonder why
Ferguson?
no one has talked about the tight end from Utah. I don't know if anybody's heard any word where he declares eligibility or not. His name is Britt Keithy from Utah. Now, I don't know if you ever heard about this guy, but if you imagine a tight end that's a little smaller, he's about 230, but he's really fast, really quick. He's able to make defenders miss with spin moves, and basically take it to the house on a straight run where he just make one man miss, that's it, he's gone. And he's basically taking it the distance. Brett Keithy is another guy that was on my radar. I don't hear anybody talking about him. I don't know if he's eligible or not. I was looking for him to come out last year. He didn't come out. And then I haven't heard much about him this year.
Yeah,
I
mean,
don't
this
know
tight end
whether
class,
he might go undrafted or what.
Yeah, we'll see where he goes in, but there's so many guys, like you talked about as well. Jeremy Ruckert, Cade Otton, I think, has really started to catch on with some Jets fans as well. Isaiah Likely from Carolina, too, has definitely caught the eyes of a lot of people. And I wanted to get your thoughts on Jake Ferguson, man, from Wisconsin, because there's a lot of people saying, listen, if Trey McBride is a little too rich for our blood to try to get back into that first round, maybe a guy like Jake Ferguson might be there for us at the top of that second. What are your thoughts about him? Do you think he's a guy we should target?
Oh, yeah, certainly. It looks like this tight end class is a very solid class. Now, last year's class was top-heavy. You know, you had Kyle Pitts, who was this rare freak of nature, and then you had Fry move, you know, the other tight end, and then it wasn't too much going on. This group is a good group. I think any combination we come out of, whether it's McBride, Likely, McBride, Stuckett, Kolar is going to be light years above what we have, because the group we have is not very good, you know.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be definitely an upgrade.
Yeah, and I think you were going to talk a little bit about that. You know, Rusty definitely spoke on not trading down before, trading down at 4 no matter who was there. What are your thoughts about Kayvon Thibodeau? Because I've always been, listen, I love Linderbaum, love him to death. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, if Thibodeau is there at 4, I don't know how you could pass on him. What are your thoughts about him? Because there's a lot of Jets fans all over the place about the evaluation on him.
I would tell Jet fans out there, I've been a Jet fan for 42 years. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I've had a chance to watch film on him and read his scouting report. Kayvon Thibodeau is a rare freak of nature. He's dominant. Yeah. He has pass rush moves. You know, obviously once he gets to the pros, they'll further refine his game. But he's got pass rush moves. He's got explosive get off that at times is so scary, is so fast and scary that he could be a very, very dangerous man. Very powerful. I've seen him take tackles, get on their collar and walk them, throw them to the ground. You know, he's interesting. And what I like is he's not that big. It will fool you. You think this lean little guy isn't as strong and powerful as he is. Make no mistake, Kayvon Thibodeau is a tremendous edge rusher. He's the one guy in this draft that you have to take him. You take him over O-line. You take him over every other position except, QB. And even QB class isn't that good. So you take him over a QB. Kayvon Thibodeau is a monster. You got to take this guy. Now, somehow, by some miracle, some grace of God, he falls through at 4, and Joe Douglas passed on him for O-lineman. I'll never forget Joe for that. That'd be some pure BS. Pass on this guy for Equano. Now, don't get me wrong. Equano is a top-tier prospect. To me, it's him, Linderbaum, and Kenyon Green. Those are the 3 best O-linemen in this class. Not to say Evan Neal doesn't have good quality, but those are the big 3. Kayvon Thibodeau is above all of them. You got to take Kayvon Thibodeau. If he's there at 4, you take him. You run to that. I'll be running to that podium and trip it and make a fool out of myself. Turn that card in. Are you kidding?
And again, I respect everybody's takes. Salutes to everybody. All Jets fans. But I look at Kayvon. I watched him out there in Oregon, and it was just like, dude, there's no way you don't take this guy if he's there at 4. He's the only guy that I would look at passing on, possibly not taking somebody along the offensive line because I believe he's that good. But again, I respect everybody's take. Understand it. That's just my thought process on that. But when you look at this roster right now, and you look at the wide receiver position, there's a guy, Braxton Darius, that could be walking into free agency. There's a lot of rumors swirling that he may want $9 million per season. If you're the Jets general manager, are you giving Braxton Darius $9 million per to stay here with the New York Jets? Is that something that you would do?
Now, on that issue of that number, Joe is going to be looking to get players at as lower numbers he can possibly get. He's probably going to have his own numbers, but I'm hoping with this Barrios thing that they can split the difference somewhere between that 7 and that 9. Maybe they can split the difference and reach an agreement in the middle. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping they can. It'd be a shame to lose Barrios. I think about back in the day when the Jets lost Chad Morton. You remember that? When we lost all those players to the Redskins?
Yes, I was just about to say that. Chad Morton to the Redskins. Yep. Yeah.
That's right. I remember that. I hope not to see a repeat of that. We've had some Ferguson, good kick returns. And then I think about Leon Washington breaking his femur, and then that was a time that his contract was up, and he broke his femur, and we didn't bring him back. And, we've had a rich tradition, not only at the center position, but with some very talented kick returners. Even back in the day, back in the 80s with Bobby Humphrey and JoJo Townsell, under Larry Pasquarel, the special teams coach at that time, who was highly regarded, went to ESPN. We've had a rich tradition, and I'm hoping we can continue it with Barrios. Because for a while we lagged. You remember after Westhoff retired, we kind of lagged a little bit, and we weren't that good. We had a few years when we kind of lagged, and that's not us. We're usually one of the best in the league at kicking punt return yardage, and also in kicking punt return coverage. We've done very good. I want to see us return to that, because I think that's going to be an important element if we want to return to what we were under former head coach Rex Ryan and start winning games again, don't you think?
Yeah, that's something we absolutely have to do. And for me, it's just like, that's why I'm looking at the situation and I go, look, I understand it's $9 million, and I'm hearing from a lot of people, I'm not on the bandwagon for $9 million, but I said 7 to 8. He might push me to 9, to be completely honest, because this guy is out there. I mean, when you look at the situation here, again, we're a team that's still in the rebuild. We're trying to, continue to find the weapons that we need. But Jamison Crowder probably gone after this season, right?
That's right.
Cole probably gone after the season as well. Who else is there outside of Elijah Moore and Corey Davis? I mean, you could bring in a rookie, but can you really expect big numbers out of a rookie in their first year? I don't think so. Can you expect the type of production that you're going to get from Braxton Darius in their first year? I don't even know if you'll necessarily get that. So it's like,
that's right.
And he's an all-pro kick returner. I mean, you just talked about all these guys. We talked about Andre Roberts, which was a long time ago. That was a long time ago that we had that guy.
Yeah.
When are we gonna start rectifying situations and making sure that guys that perform well stay here? Because if they're not,
that's right.
What are we doing? We're not keeping our own guys. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's the way I look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not on the $9 million bandwagon, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? When are we going to start doing
on
that?
the inside, Joe Douglas and Barrios' agent, hopefully they can work out a deal and meet somewhere in the middle. I'm hoping between whatever Joe's number is, which probably is a little less than what Barrios is looking for, and if they can reach a deal in the middle, that'll be good for the Jets and good for the fan base and everybody, because obviously we want to see Barrios stay. He's a good feel-good story. He's going to help our special teams unit and help Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson started going to him late in the year. You know, he started catching more passes, and that's a positive. Like you said, Crowder, he's gone. You got a couple of guys that are going to be gone. So, I mean, who's going to fill that role, to tell you the truth?
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
I'm a little nervous about it. It's good they try to get into negotiations early. I'm hoping they can reach it. I got to believe that Joe Douglas is interested in retaining him. So hopefully they can work something out. That's right.
I'm hoping they are as well. Now, when you look at our running back situation, my final question before I let you go, you've been bringing the heat, man. What are your thoughts about the running back position here? Because I think that Michael Carter's phenomenal, but then you look at kind of what's behind him, and Ty Johnson, kind of as a question mark. He was disappointing to me. Tevin Coleman looks like he's going to be walking in free agency. We'll see what happens with him going forward. Austin Walter, I think, played solidly, you know, when we actually gave him the ball. What is your assessment of the running back situation at this point?
I think we're probably at some point, maybe in the middle rounds or somewhere fairly early, maybe third or fourth round, probably going to add another running back, maybe possibly in free agency. I'd like to see us get a big back, you know, sort of thunder and lightning when we get to 215, 220-pound back that's a little more, a little more powerful, somebody that can get in there and move the pile a little bit, you know, short yardage, which I don't think we really have. We have a lot of speed in our offensive backfield, but we don't have that guy that's tough on contact and keeps his legs churning and move that pile and where that first defender can't get them down and they can still extend themselves and pick up that extra yard or two. We need that kind of back to complement Michael Carter, you know?
Yeah, you're right. We need that big guy, that big body guy, and maybe we'll find him in free agency again. Matt Breida's a guy I think that could fit us. He's a guy that's walking in free agency. We'll see. He's got familiarity with the system, but maybe we target a guy in later rounds, that running back, you know, that can come in and really give us that power back kind of feel. Yeah, you're really talking that talk.
Yeah, man. That's right.
But listen, man, I want to give you a hand because you always bring some fire, Tex, man. Our studio audience, please.
Thank
you. Yeah, not too much. You know what I'm saying? Not too much. This is
thank you. You made my night.
I got to slow down. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. You have yourself a good night. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. I know you're working, you're doing your thing. Get your money. I want to let you know that. Get your money. You know, we all need that cash. But, I really enjoy talking to you about Jets. I really enjoy talking to you about football, my friend.
Yeah, same here, Joe. And you have a good night. You take care of yourself, too. And I look forward to hopefully get a chance to talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. You have yourself a good one, my friend. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. You know I have a lot of new callers, but again, when you call in, please be patient. We'll get to everybody. Sit on the lines. I can see you. No need to call in and hang up, I can see you. All right. I know, I got new callers. We'll get to everybody. And salutes to all the savages in the chat. Every single one of y'all, man. Every single one of y'all. I respect y'all. I respect you. I respect the heck out of the savages. Again, we'll keep getting to these lines. Next, I'm going to my guy, Steve. Michael will be coming to you right after that. Salutes to you, Steve. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Steve, listen, we're talking Jets, man. Braxton Darius, there's a lot of rumors he wants $9 million per season. If you are the New York Jets general manager, are you paying him $9 million per?
Hey, Joe. Well, first off, thank you again for having me on your show tonight. If I'm doing $9 million, I'm gonna say no to that. I think he's worth like $6 or $7 million.
Okay. So that's your cutoff. So you're just going to go into, are you just going to try to draft a guy that's going to come in and be a kick returner and give you his type of output? I mean, where are you going? Are you going to free agency and try to grab a guy? What are you doing?
No, I mean, the thing is, I think we could find maybe someone else maybe at that position if the Jets do decide to let Barrios go. Like, maybe if there's someone in the draft that we could use, like, for the future. And, you know, and it depends on free agency. I know some people are looking at Cordell Patterson. But the thing is about Cordell Patterson is I don't know if he's past his prime now because he's been in the league for many years. I mean, we'll see what happens with Barrios before free agency. I mean, I would like the Jets to re-sign him because he could definitely be a big future kick returner for us, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know everybody's just saying walk away from him. I get it. You know, $9 million per it's serious, but when you have a guy that has put together the type of production that he's put together, and then you also look at the all-pro kick returning, I mean, it's going to be tough to walk away, you know, because, again, Jamison Crowder probably not going to be here next year. Keelan Cole probably not going to be here. After that, what do you got? Denzel Mims, Jeff Smith, maybe? I don't, you know, come on. You got only thing left is Corey Davis and Elijah Moore. It's like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? But moving forward, when you look at the Senior Bowl, man, there's a guy, Trey McBride, his stock has risen, let me tell you. There was a lot of Jets fans in love with him, possibly taking him high in the second. Now there's a lot of talk about him being a late first-round guy from 20 down. Is Trey McBride a guy that you would be willing, if you're the New York Jets general manager, would you be willing to pair some mid-round picks to trade back up into the first round to get? Is that something you'd like to see the New York Jets do, Steve?
If the Jets are really high on Trey McBride, then maybe, yes, I would do it. But the thing is, though, I don't know if the Jets are going to do it. I mean, listen, I am a big fan of Trey McBride. Got a lot of potential. I mean, the only thing is, you don't really draft a tight end in the first round. I mean, listen, I know the Falcons did that last year when they took Kyle Pitts 4th overall. I mean, I know Kyle Pitts is an unbelievable talent, but if I'm looking at the situation, I mean, listen, if the Jets front office feels that they should trade up to go get Trey McBride, you know, go for it. But, I mean, there's also the other guy, you know, people mentioned from Wisconsin, Jake Ferguson, who's supposed to be another good tight end. I mean, listen, I wouldn't mind if the Jets got a tight end in free agency and then got one of those tight ends in the draft. I don't think we're not going to get both of them in the draft if that's going to be the case scenario. I mean, because the only thing is we desperately need a tight end because the tight end position is a position that the Jets need. I mean, we haven't had a really good tight end since what's his face when we used to have Dustin Keller. We haven't had a really good tight end.
Yeah, so, I mean you're talking facts. You're talking facts. Dustin Keller was like the last guy that was able to make a play here, and then after that there was a lot of question marks. Yeah, so you know, I mean we've taken tight ends in the first before Dustin Keller was taken in the first. You know, late in the first. So
yeah, we took him late in the first. We ended up trading with the Packers that year to get Dustin Keller. I remember that draft, and that ended up being a great pick for us, even though we made that trade with Green Bay to get that pick. But you know something, Joe? I don't know what's going to happen. We got to see what happens in free agency. I mean, listen, you know, when I look at the free agency at the tight end position, you know, I know a lot of Jets fans are high on Dalton Schultz. I like Dalton Schultz too. I don't know if we get it, but my second option would be getting Mike Gesicki from Miami. Because if anybody also doesn't know this, Mike Gesicki is a New Jersey native. He is originally from New Jersey. I don't know what town he's originally from, but I know he's a New Jersey native. And I think having Gesicki play from home could be really big. I mean, I don't know if he would want to come play for us, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, clearly he's from Jersey. He plays against us pretty comfortably. Feels like right at home when he's cooking us. You know what I'm saying? Feels like he's right at home when he's shredding us for hundreds of yards every single season.
What more do you want from me?
Come on, Mike. Don't do this to us for another year, dog. Just come over and sign. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see you again in a Dolphins uniform. So my final question for you, Steve, before I let you go, give me your thoughts and evaluation on Michael Carter, man. What are your thoughts about him this season?
No, let me tell you something, Joe. Carter is going to be the future running back for us because, you know, we got him in the 4th round. There's been a lot of really good running backs that have been taken in the draft late that were really, really running backs. Like, when you look at the Saints, when they got Alvin Kamara, he was a former fourth-round pick. And then, and the thing is, I think we finally have our future number one running back in Michael Carter. I think Michael Carter will be the big future. Now, Joe, before you do let me go, I want to hear your thoughts, because now this is Super Bowl week. I want you to give me your final thoughts of the Super Bowl. Who do you think wins the Super Bowl this Sunday?
Man, let me tell you something. This is going to be, I tell you what, this is going to be a really crazy game. I was kind of shocked, seeing what was going on out there. I was happy to see, Brady be sent home, you know what I'm saying? So we ain't got to deal with him again, again, because walked away as well.
Yeah, Joe, because obviously with Tom Brady retired, and I even said it to a lot of people, we don't have to worry about Brady being in the Super Bowl this time. We don't have to worry about Patrick Mahomes being in the Super Bowl. Now, I mean, I'm not dissing Mahomes. He is an unbelievable talent, but it's time for a change. I mean, I'll just say this really quickly before I'll let you see your Super Bowl prediction. I think it's going to be a really good game. I would love to see the Cinderella team, the Bengals, win the Super Bowl. I mean, because obviously they are a big Cinderella team right now of the way of how they've been playing. However, though, I just think that the Rams, in my opinion, are a much better football team. But I think the game is going to be close. I think the Rams will beat the Bengals. My final score is I'm going to go 27-23 Rams.
Yeah, I see that right there, man. I think the Rams will end up taking it as well. So that's my take there. But listen, Steve, I want to thank you for calling in tonight, man. It was phenomenal to speak to you. We'll keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy, Michael. Michael, I'm coming directly to you. I want to talk to you a little bit about these Jets. Michael, listen, man. Braxton Darius, $9 million per. Give me your thoughts about it. Would you pay him that if you're the New York Jets general manager?
Well, I hope he doesn't make the same mistake that they did with Robbie Anderson and let him go. So I just hope that the money is not just the only issue. He adds a lot more than just, having that salary. The continuity with the offense, the special teams. What's your price for that? And, looking at for someone else to do the same thing he's doing or at the level he's doing it, we're building, and you want to keep that continuity. That's what's so great about what happened at the Senior Bowl is that you saw how the Jets were so organized, how they organized, the coaching staff and the continuity that they had with the other players, and compared to what the Lions looked dysfunctional. We finally have a coaching staff that knows what the heck they're doing. So you don't let players like Berrios go. Now, of course, he's going to use that for leverage, but there'll be a common ground that they can meet, and you shouldn't let him go at all.
So you would have no problem with paying him $9 million per. That for you is okay,
I
fine.
think you know what? If you do, I always thought that he was going to get maybe 22.5 for 4 years, which was like 6.5. Well, if you go to 24 for 3, that's 8. I'm sure that would work out.
Okay. So when you look at you look at the Senior Bowl, because you talked a little bit about it, Trey McBride, his stock is soaring right now. Would you like to see the New York Jets package some picks to move up into that late first round and take him before a team could possibly jump them and grab him? Is he a guy that you covet that much?
I'm hearing everybody talk about we need a number one receiver. They could not run the 12 personnel this year, and that's a staple of LaFleur's offense. Now, with that being said, they want to run, Joe Douglas and Saleh have been saying this with LaFleur. They want to run the ball and they want to throw it to the tight end. Well, running the ball means you need the offensive line to be really secure. I mean, you brought in LDT, which was great, but he's really a backup. He's not, but he was better than GVR, who got sacked and hurt. So, but you still need to build that offensive line, all right? So they've been talking about trenches. And that's what guys, it's not going to be flashy stuff. The tools that they're going to get Zach is not just his protection, but they're going to go with probably 2 tight ends and, a running back. And the running back that I'm looking at is Breece Hall out of Iowa State. This guy's got the most TDs for the past 4 years. Only 1 year he got beat out, and that was by Najee Harris, by 1 touchdown. This guy gets 20 touchdowns or more every year. So people listening should look into him. And he's a big back, similar to Michael Carter. Michael Carter came out of North Carolina as, alternate back because he shared time with Williams, who went to Denver. So he's used to doing that. They're both going to be number ones. You don't want to, when someone comes in, have a different type of game plan, then the defense knows kind of, okay, they're limited. But if he does the same thing, just a bigger back, they still have to worry about all the tools that Michael Carter has. So he would be a perfect fit. 2 tight ends, Jake Ferguson, perfect, along with Freud. Now, to answer your question, you see a lot of the mock drafts that trade with Philadelphia to get their 2 picks, 15 and 19. You wouldn't have to trade back in.
Okay, yeah.
Because you got the extra first-round pick.
Yeah,
you got a first-round pick. And if you're worried about it, then trade the 10. If you go back to 18 or 20 with the Saints or with the Steelers, then you pick McBride there. And then you pick up Zion Johnson in the second round. And you're going to get an extra second round from those guys anyway. So now you can pick up the running back there if you have to, or you pick up who really stood out wasn't so much the edge rushers there, which I do love, Jermaine Johnson from Florida State. I don't think he's lasting to the second round either. So those might be 2 picks. If you do get those 2 picks, you can pick those 2 guys up, at 15 and 19 right there. Beautiful. Along with Linderbaum or Icky,
That kid, Jermaine Johnson, I'll tell you what, that guy was really showing up and showing out. That's a kid, like you said as well. I think that if he hadn't been seen the way he was seen at the Senior Bowl, we might have been able to have a shot, but he probably is not going to be there when we're looking to take him. So, listen to this, Michael. I want to thank you for calling in, man. Go ahead, give me your last.
You got it, Joe. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, thank you, man. You have a good one. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in next. Oh, we were going to 225. We lost your 225. Come on back in. But next we're going to go to CT. We're going to my guy CT. CT knows what he's talking about. Salute to you. What's going on, CT? You already know what time it is. Braxton Darius, $9 million per. We've been talking about it all night. If you are the New York Jets general manager, are you paying him that? Yes or no?
You know what? Honestly, I would counter offer, give him a 7 or 8. But if he wants that 9 and he's staying firm in there, I'll give it to him. Honestly, he deserves it. It's not too much money. People act like it's super expensive. We have a lot of cap space, and I think you got to retain players that have shown heart on the team, and you got to retain players that have earned their place. And he was honestly a gadget player. He was doing all types of stuff. Special teams, came around on jet sweeps. And he was super reliable with Zach when he was needing somebody to just dump the ball over to, and consistent. One of Zach's favorite targets. So to help Zach out, give him that consistency with familiarity, you want to give him the extra $2 million, fine, go for it. Because, there'll be another offseason next year where we can spend money and there'll be more cap money. I mean, it's just a matter of how you put the puzzle piece together. I don't think it's too much to give the guy. He thinks he deserves it.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I've argued both sides there. There's some people that are for it. $9 million is kind of tough. I was in the 7 to 8, but at this point, I'm like, do I really want to lose a guy that has had as much production as he's had with us, that's shown the grit, shown the heart, and also been an all-pro kick returner for us? I don't know if I want to walk away from that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I want to walk away from that.
Yeah, Braxton Darius has proven this year that he's an official dog. And when he gets out on that field, he's somebody you can count on. So when you let people like that walk out of your organization, it does sting. And if he ends up in Miami or he ends up in New England, it'll be a nightmare for us. So hold on, pay the guy. He's a great player, and he's been a Jet through and through since we picked him up from New England. Let him have a couple more years out here and have some great years with us. Yeah.
I mean, so when you look at the Senior Bowl, man, is there a guy at the Senior Bowl that you feel like performed so well that it impressed you, and you're looking at it and you're saying, hey, this is the guy that the New York Jets should draft?
You know what, man? Everybody has their mock draft, and their ideas of things, and they kind of like are really going all for building around Zach Wilson. Even you, I get it. You build around Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
But when I see a stud player, I see it, and I'm like, just take that guy, add him to your squad, and let's go. And Perrion Winfrey, even though he's a defensive tackle, I would find a way to get him on our squad. He seems like he's a difference maker. I'm not sure if Olaronzo Fatusasi is coming back. If he's not, then I would find a way to get Perrion Winfrey on this team. Because there's more, you know, obviously everybody's talking about Trey McBride. I get it. He looks great. I mean, if we get him, I'll be happy for sure. I do think there's other tight ends as well we can probably pick up later on, so I'm not going to be mad. Let's say we trade back from 10, though, to 20. Mm-hmm. I know that Pittsburgh wants to take a quarterback, so they might want to take Malik Willis. Trade back, and we pick up their 2 second-round picks as well. Then we would have a ton of picks in the second round to possibly get a tight end or get Trey McBride at 20, you know, to get Trey McBride at 20, and then we fill out the edge rushers and the wide receivers and offensive line throughout the second round. That would be awesome too. So, yeah, I think that, you know, when it comes down to, or Rachaad White, running back. Rachaad White, his patience with the pocket and how he chooses a lane. He's very decisive and he just makes a ton of yardage just by being that decisive runner. I saw him in college too. And I was like, all right, I'm going to keep an eye on him. Then he showed out on the Pro Bowl, the Senior Bowl, and I was like, man, I really like this kid. So he's somebody we can get in the late rounds probably and pair up with Michael Carter. I know there's other running backs as well, but those are the two that people are not really talking about that I think stood out to me.
Yeah, those are some guys I can get. I'll tell you what, Trevor Penning is a guy that I think, you know, we could be looking at as well, depending on what we do at 10, trading down. But Trey McBride's stock has just soared, man. I thought he was a guy that we could grab maybe early in that second, but it's not looking like that anymore. It's looking like he's going to go late first round at this point.
Down to 20, with Pittsburgh, we can get him at 20. If we trade down to 20 from the 10 to 20, we can get him at 20. Yeah. You know, if he's that quality, and we also pick up some extra rounds, so we get another wide receiver in the second round or something. I know people want to get a wide receiver and offensive line. There's a lot of, like you said, Trevor Penning also. He looks really good. You know, so we might want to pick him up, put him in the guard spot, you know, and in the second round. You know, everybody's saying that we got to, you know, get, you know, all these offensive linemen in the first round. I mean, you never know. You can pick somebody up. There's a lot of offensive linemen that have been drafted second round, third round that have been super, you know, great fits for their team. So I trust this staff. That's one thing I think it took away more than anything is I trust the staff to get the right guys. And with this information and intel at the Senior Bowl, I'm just super excited for seeing where the Jets go in free agency and where they go in the draft this year. It's going to be super fun to see the next couple of months.
Yeah, it is. Now, my final question before I let you go is give me your evaluation of Michael Carter in this running back situation here. Is Tevin Coleman also a guy that you would like to see re-signed and brought back to the Jets?
He didn't do too bad, Tevin. He didn't do bad. Now, he's not like a must sign. Like if we have gotten our free agents and we think we can add him, then sure. But I'm more on the camp of drafting a running back to pair with him. But Tevin, I mean, I don't mind bringing him back. He also had a decent, you know, punt return too. Like so, the guy shows that he can play. You know, so I'm not against bringing him back.
Okay. Yeah, I respect that. Listen, CT, I want to thank you for calling in tonight, man. I got to get back to these lines. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
No doubt. You too. Good night.
All right. Peace. Listen, CT calling in with some heat. He brought the take, so we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Again, I know I have a lot of new callers. When you call in, please don't call in and hang up. Call in and hang up. I will get to you. Just be patient. We get to everybody here. Next, I'm going to my guy, Max. This is Maxwell. He's calling in. He's got some takes. Salute to you, my friend. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, man. Give me your thoughts, man. Braxton Darius, $9 million per. Are you taking him? Max? I think we lost him. Salute to him. Hopefully he'll be able to call back in. But he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was Too much heat. You know what I'm saying? Just smoking them. Smoked them out right there. A lot of heat in his phones. You know what I'm saying? We heat up phones around here. A lot of hot takes. A lot of hot stuff going on. But I'll tell you what, we talked about a lot tonight. And when we discussed this running back situation here, look, I look at it like Michael Carter was phenomenal this year. Phenomenal, man. Really like what he brought to the table. Big-time offensive threat for us. One of the guys that was really putting on before he got injured. This kid, I cannot wait for him to come back because I'm telling you, his ability has been unbelievable. We've seen him come out of the backfield and catch the football. We've seen him, when handed the football, he can find holes, and he's a guy that can move, man. He can really move. So I like what he brings to the table with the New York Jets. Tevin Coleman's a guy I look at and I say, hey, we could move on from him. We really could. I mean, I understand, he's a guy, a veteran back. He understands the system. But, again, we got guys like Austin Walter, who I thought played well. Ty Johnson is a guy I want to see come back and be on the rebound. Maybe he's a guy that can put some things together next year. For me, at times during this season, too many drops. He also had some critical fumbles as well at times in games. So he's got to clean those things up going into next season. But, again, we also have other options as well in free agency. Matt Breida, there's other guys out there. I've heard, some Jets fans talk about getting Fournette on the cheap. There's all kind of things going on and flying around out there that could happen with the New York Jets as far as free agency. There's also backs as well in the draft, too, that could really make some impact. So this running back situation here with the Jets, is looking pretty solid, especially, again, with Michael Carter coming in and doing some of the things that he's done. So now with that said, man, we're going to go ahead and close this show out. This has been a hot show. This has been a hot show. There was a lot of talk. You know what I'm saying? Look, Braxton Darius, $9 million. That gets people fired up, So, listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. Again, YoungJ000, all right? Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. If you want to troll me, no issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times, all right? At all times, I will have that Vera Tucker jersey on, okay? I'm just saying, one of the best linemen in the league, all right? You need a good player. You need a good lineman. You can always call on a Trojan. That's all I'm saying. Just go to USC. Everything else will be figured out. You know what I'm saying? Fight on. That's all I'm saying, So I'll be down there. You want to troll me, I'll troll you right back. Also, I'm also on YouTube as well, okay? Long Beach Joe Jets is the YouTube. Long Beach Joe Jets. Go there, subscribe, hit that notification bell, give the content a thumbs up. And if you want to troll me on there, no issues. Hit me in the comments. I will troll you right back, okay? We can go back and forth on there as well. And as always, people, when you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone, okay? Free hugs for everyone. They will cost you absolutely nothing. I want to thank you folks for listening. Without you people, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen and call into the show. You folks are the absolute best, all right? Again, thank you folks for listening. You folks have a good one. Peace.